Eric, you know I like baseball.
Yes.
Not everybody likes baseball. I know we're in Canada. We're supposed to love hockey. I love hockey. I love baseball. And what's interesting in baseball is a lot of people are looking for the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, grand slam, home run. And a lot of people are treating their business that way.
Right.
I can save it with the big moment, right? Which is I'll wait for all the conditions to line up, and then I will have the dramatic, transformative, revolutionary change that will change everything forever. Thing is, in baseball, the teams that win and the players that do really well, base hit.
Right.
They hit, they hit, they hit. It is not the grand slams. It's not the home run every time. It's that consistent behavior, which is less dramatic.
Right.
They're not as exciting to watch, but their impact on the game is extraordinary.
Yeah.
There's a corollary to that when business owners come to us and say, so could you please dramatically transform my revenue now, please? Right now?
Right.
Walk through the conversation we have with them in those moments.
Yeah, it's not that revolutionary moments won't show up.
It's not a bad thing.
Right, those are great. But really, to your point, the results come when we apply ourselves to the incremental improvements, the incremental changes across the organization. And here's a great financial model that kind of that paints this for you, okay, or paints the picture for you. When you think about your funnel, so if you think of your business like a funnel, it begins by attracting customers. We're not in business very long if we can't attract customers. And those customers are coming to us from three sources. We have potential customers. These are folks that have never worked with us before. They've never interacted with your business. They've never bought your product or service. And much of advertising and marketing that's usually done is designed to attract potential customers. Then you have your present customers. These are the folks that are actually doing business with you right now and have a history of doing business with you, that if properly motivated might do more business with you. They might buy more products or services or buy from you more frequently. And then you have past customers. These are folks that for one reason or another have fallen off the radar and they're no longer doing business with you. A business that's really strategic is going to figure out a way how to attract all three. We want to focus on potential, we want to try to nurture the present, and we want to try to reach back out to the past. Now, of all those folks we reach out to from those three realms, only a percentage of them are going to do business with you. We know that, right? It's not everybody we reach out to that's going to buy from us. So a percentage of them are going to buy, and that percentage represents in your business your total transactions for a given calendar year, for example, or fiscal year. How many total transactions showed up from your customer base? And over a period of a year, and based on the products and services that you sell, you're going to have what we call an average dollar sale. This is of all the products you sell, if you average it out, each customer spends an average amount per sale in your business. So if we take then those total transactions and we multiply it by the average dollar sale, we get our revenue. This is the top line revenue of the money that's coming into the business. Now, if you're a business owner, you know that just because that revenue is coming into the business, it doesn't mean you get to keep it all, right? There are expenses. There's all kinds of other stuff going on. What an important number to know in your business is your gross profit percentage. That means of that top line number, what's my gross profit? What's the percentage that I can count on that's going to stick around for the business and move down to my and be part of my bottom line? So if we take revenue then and multiply it by that gross profit percentage, then we get what our actual gross profit is. Then we have to minus out or subtract out our fixed costs and overhead, and then you get your bottom line, or what we call your net profit. So all that some simple financial stuff here that unfortunately a lot of business leaders lack the financial acumen to do this stuff right. It's so important. You don't have to become an accountant. You don't have to become a financial wizard, but you need to understand the basics if you're going to do this successfully. Here's what's really, really powerful. If we work with you, or work with anyone, if you work on your own to improve each of these stages, so let's say you were to attract 10% more customers, you would then have 10% more transactions. If your average dollar sale went up by 10%, if your revenues started to climb, if you were able to improve your gross profit percentage by 10%, if you were able to reduce your expenses by 10%, so you drive that number down. What's interesting is, using that 10% improvement model right across the board, right down the model, you don't end up with a 10% improvement of your bottom line. In many models, when we do this with customers and use their numbers, you're probably talking like it could be a 200 to 300% improvement to your bottom line, because you get this compounding effect of improvement stacked upon improvement, stacked upon improvement, just like compounding interest. So rather than looking for sweeping change that's going to save your business or look for that magic bullet, often the secret sauce is finding those areas where you can make incremental improvements across the business model that are going to lead to transformative results.
We have been sold this notion that if it's not dramatic, it's not big enough.
Right.
And there is such power in focused incremental change that's sustained over time.
Right.
And that, I think, is a huge piece of this, is the capacity to not only embrace this, but to sustain it over time. We don't get the results if we don't sustain it, and a lot of people will quit too early. They say, well, I've done this, and they're looking for an answer too fast. But those incremental changes are so powerful. And you can imagine the impact that incremental changes like that can have on your health.
Right.
If you say, you know what, I'm just going to go to the gym once a week, or I'm just going to change one meal to start with, or the impact it can have on our relationships, time with our kids, with our partners, with our friends, time invested in ourselves. We do not need to absolutely disrupt everything around us if we can adopt these incremental changes and sustain them over time. I think it's a powerful, transformative response to incremental improvements in the business. It's such a powerful model. Thank you.
So it may not be dramatic in its execution, but it's dramatic in its results if you stay the course.